Welcome to the Been There Doing That podcast. I'm Robert Scrivener.
And I'm Gayla Scrivener.
We left the 9-to-5 grind, downsized, and our goal is to have freedom to live and to work from just about anywhere.
We are glad that you joined us for another episode of the Been There Doing That podcast.
Oh, so glad.
So glad.
You guys just keep coming back, asking for more.
It's awesome.
It is.
You know, sometimes we sit around the house or wherever we're at, and we're working in front of the computer, and then we just throw up our hands and say, we gotta get out.
We need to move.
We need to move. We need to get out into the sunshine and
Vitamin D's calling my name.
And just drive.
Robert.
We just need to drive. And that's what happened to us. It was about noon. You threw up your hands and you said,
Let's go.
Let's go. And
where are we going?
South is what you
said.
Let's
go south.
And I'm like, we happened to be in Springfield for a couple of days, and we weren't enjoying the city.
No.
So we wanted to get out into the country.
300,000 people in the surrounding area. I'm ready to move.
And you went south on Campbell Street, which is also known as Highway 160.
Yes.
And we were on Highway 160. Well, we picked up on Highway 160 in Tuba City, Arizona. That's where it ends, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Or starts.
Well, it depends on which way you're going.
I guess so. And we drove that all the way from our Overland West trip all the way back to around Lamar, I guess, until we ventured off and then got back home to Keplinger. But during that trip, we were like, we should drive the entire thing. Well, we've driven most of it around here. It ends or begins, whichever way you're going. Where? Around
Poplar Bluff.
Poplar Bluff?
Poplar Bluff, Missouri.
And so we've been there.
We've been there, but we haven't drove.
We haven't had
the opportunity to drive on that section of road from Poplar Bluff to Springfield area.
Because normally, how do we go to Poplar Bluff? 60.
We get on 60.
Not 160.
Not 160.
160 is a lot more.
It's a lot better.
It's a lot more curvy, and goes through. It's 2-lane instead of 4-lane, and you need to go slower. And
they got some 20-mile-an-hour curves.
The landscape is gorgeous. Lots of rolling hills.
Goes through Mark Twain National Forest.
And really enjoyed that. So we were going on these roads and had gone through towns that I'm sure I've never been into before. And it's
Theodosia. Never been there, have you?
I have now. There were some campgrounds that we stopped at because we wanted to kind of see what they had to offer for future reference.
Just good to know.
All of them had internet that I could tell because we were posting Instagram like crazy.
Well, yeah.
Or you were.
Well, yeah.
We saw, what were some of the campgrounds? What was one of?
I don't remember the name of the one, but it was underwater.
Yes, there was some flood damage, and we had gone to one of them quite some time ago, and it was underwater. But now we could see some of the pavilions.
That was Shadow Rock Park down in Forsyth.
Oh, okay, Shadow Rock. You have some family history there.
Yeah, I think my grandfather is the one that did all the original wiring for
electricity?
That part. Electricity for that part.
Electricity. And we were going on this off-road to a park, to a campground, and the road was closed. You had to go snake around underneath the bridge, and there was water. Could not go. And
it was around.
We turned around and got back on the highway and then saw the other side of the bridge. It was like,
I think it was Kazee Mills. I used to call it Kissy Mills. That's the way it looks. But it's Kazee Mills.
Well, I like Kissy better.
Yeah. Because email's public use area.
Do those cost anything to camp there?
I did not see anything posted there.
Well, I guess if it's underwater, you can't really.
That's true.
Throw out your tent. Maybe you could have a floatable sleep on your air mattress.
It's
maybe
along Beaver Creek in southwest Missouri.
And we kept on going, and I remember you saying, "I don't think I've been on this part of 160."
Well, this section does not look familiar.
and then we came up upon a town. I want to say it was Gainsville. Yep. And you said, "Hey,
I recognize this one. This area looks familiar."
But you've never gotten to Gainesville via
that way. Yeah.
160 that you know of.
That I know of. I could have been a tiny tyke.
You've got relatives there. You got relatives everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. And when we were there in Gainesville, you said, "You know what? I think there's a mill around here."
Mm-hmm.
And we had internet. So we did some searching. We had no idea what the mill was called or anything like that. So
I just remember seeing a buddy of mine posting stuff on Facebook about it.
Oh.
And remembered that in my long-term memory bank.
Because that's better than your short-term memory bank.
Darn right.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're doing this now, so I don't forget. In the near future.
In the near future.
Long-term, I'm good.
Exactly. We can't record this 10 years from now.
It just wouldn't be right.
No. I guess we could start doing podcasts from your long-term memory bank. That might be interesting.
It could be.
It could be even more exaggerated than what we do now.
The fish was this long.
Oh, that just popped in a different memory. Back to a regularly scheduled program.
Carry on.
Well, we found a mill called what? Hodgson's?
Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
Hodgson.
Water mill.
Hodgson water mill. How'd you say it?
I don't remember.
Hodgson water mill. Hodgson. Hodgson.
So we set the GPS to go there and see what it was. And it was near Sycamore, Missouri.
Never been there that I know of.
No. And it's just on the side of the road.
Literally.
It's
right there.
We came up on it, and I was impressed. My jaw dropped. It is gorgeous.
We had to stop.
It was gorgeous property. It's a beautiful red mill, and it's right there by a spring-fed river.
What spring was that?
I don't remember.
Bryant Creek?
I think so.
I think
it was.
It's my long term kicking in for my short term.
And come to find out, this mill was constructed in 1897. And it's a 3.5-story wooden building. And it's so picturesque.
It is very picturesque.
There's a few other buildings, and I'm not sure what they are. It had a sign for gift shop, but that is not done anymore. It's just to come and look at.
It had a closed-off section for, looked like a cave back there.
Yes.
I don't know if they gave little tours or...
Well,
or whatever.
Well, when we got home and I looked it up on Wikipedia. And I'll link to the Wikipedia site on our show notes so people can read about it more. But the mill had, between 1985 and 1993, it was owned by Herbert Smith and his wife.
Between when and when?
1985 and 1993.
Okay.
They had provided tours, and there was a store, and there was a resort cabin and a campground, which would make sense for some of the areas that we saw.
Yeah.
And then that was sold. Oh, goodness. It was sold, and then there were people that would raise money to restore it.
Mm-hmm.
There was some flood damage and stuff, and they stabilized the foundation and used Amish craftspeople to repair the flood damage. Then later, in 2011, the mill was sold to John and Gwen Deagle.
Okay.
And they are experienced preservationists.
And what year?
That was 2011.
Oh, recently.
Fairly recently. Okay. And so there's no tours any longer. It's just to come up and look at and walk around the property and everything like that. And it's gorgeous. And I am so glad that it's kept so nice. And it's just such a hidden gem, honestly.
And the water was cold.
We were there, and hardly anybody. I mean, there were some other visitors that would stop by, but we stayed the longest.
I think there was only 4 people that stopped.
And we took a lot of pictures and took our time and did some video, did some audio. Didn't you do some water audio just to play around with our Zoom player? It was extremely hot that day.
It was hot.
Very humid.
Very humid. You know how much I like humidity?
You love it.
Not much at all. Zero.
Every single day in Missouri summer, I hear how much you love humidity.
Got that right.
Sarcasm. Steeping.
One of the many services that I offer.
Well, anyway, since it was a spring-fed spring-fed area, you could sit down, just kind of squat down next to the spring, and it was, I don't know, seemed like 20 degrees cooler.
Oh, it was.
And
I sat there for a while and did some video and did some pictures, and then I stood up, my glasses fogged up.
It was like there was a distinct line between kneeling down and then standing up.
Oh, yes.
Like hovering at 3 foot. And I took off my shoes and socks and put my feet in the water, and they got cold, and I loved it. That was my air conditioning.
Maybe I should have done that.
All the way home, my feet were cold, and I was better the entire day.
I was cooler because I had the air conditioner going on.
I know, I was cold.
Yeah, well.
Walking around, I loved seeing the cabins. There was this neat old bridge. No way that you could drive on it because...
No, it was
there was quite the...
step up to get onto the bridge.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of neat looking as the day got progressed and everything. Then it was really neat to see the fog over the water.
Start building up in the evening time. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody just driving around in Missouri needs to go to the mills that we have. We've visited a few.
Yeah.
All of them are so neat. And this one is not a working mill.
No. But it is definitely neat.
That's for sure. Now, what was it that there was something that was just kind of what do you call it? Just nagging at you for a little while until you realized that you recognized the mill from someplace.
What?
Yeah, didn't you recognize, besides your buddy posting?
Yes, the name.
Mm-hmm.
Hodgson Mill.
It's
Hodgson Mill.
It's on places. It's on a label on grain and
flour
packs at the grocery store everywhere we go.
We see it all the time.
And I thought maybe it's a coincidence.
No. Looked it up. It's the same mill.
It is. And we'll post the link to that. But we've bought their products and everything. And it's like, oh, well, we've gone to the actual mill now. That's awesome.
Yeah. Mark that off our bucket list.
I didn't even know it was on the bucket list.
It's not now because we marked it off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that day we left there and made our way back to Missouri.
We were already in Missouri. We never left Missouri.
I meant Springfield. Oh, man.
Yeah. Short term's kicking in.
It's been a long day. We ended up going to visit your dad in Ozark, tootled around, made our way from the mill, somehow got to Seymour, and then to your dad in Ozark. I don't know how we got there.
We took the back roads.
But it's on our Gaia GPS.
Yes.
So we got there.
I left it going continuously, even when we was walking around the mill. That's
that was kind of
spaghetti-looking
fun.
figures going on.
If you guys go to our show notes, you'll see the link to our Gaia map. And there's
zoom in on it. You can
zoom in. There's 3 places that it's just big old squigglies, and that's one place is at the mill. The second place is at Walmart in Ava.
Mm-hmm.
And the third place is at Dad's place.
Yeah, just walking around with the map going, tracking me in back pocket.
We walk aimlessly.
Very, according to the map.
And your dad wanted to give me back my brownie mix. Or not my brownie mix, my brownie pan, because I gave him some brownies. Yeah. I like to give him brownies once in a while.
Yeah, brownie points.
Literally.
Literally.
I want to stay on his good list.
Yeah, I think you don't have to try too hard.
Well, I still want to stay there.
Yeah.
But that is kind of the summary of this. May be a short episode, but
yeah.
I think it was worth it to pop over to our website and look at the pictures of the mill. And you have a video of the mill.
Put it on there.
And I don't know, did you do a Spark page?
Yes, I do believe so.
So you need to check out all of that because
it's just worth going to.
It is.
Actually, one of the pictures I posted on Instagram, a guy in Alaska said he went there 15 years ago.
Really?
Yep.
That's cool.
So there is a Spark page.
That is cool. I love to be able to explore just right around where we live. Obviously, we like to go to far off places where we haven't gone before, but we can't take for granted what's readily available to us because we can have an outing at any time and see things.
That was a spur of the moment type thing.
Spur of the moment type thing, and seeing things that we've never seen before.
Within 100 miles of the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So don't take things for granted. That's right in your backyard because there's new experiences always happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, we'd love for you to follow us and subscribe, on iTunes. And, you can even put in a rating.
Yeah, we don't mind.
We don't mind that at all. And
especially if it's a good one.
Yeah, we like the good ones.
Yeah. Well, good.
Just kind of like what I'm supposed to do. If you can't say something nice, don't say something else.
That's true.
But if you have any suggestions or questions, feel free to email us at podcast@BeenThereDoingThat.com.
That is correct.
And be sure to follow Robert at BeenThereDoingThat.com. Or BeenThereDoingThat on Instagram. And see the latest and greatest pictures. So until next time,
keep your feet cool.